A true and faithful relation would pass for many years between Dr. John Dee and some spirits. 1659, Meric Casaubon. I believe we're starting with the 12th key. Well, I mean, we're continuing the 12th key with unclear on the left, Olug. Unclear on the left, Orspa. DSCHIS. Discus. AFFA. Affa. MICMA. Yikma. ISRO. Yisro. MAD. Mod. S2 is in the middle here. Not sure why it keeps doing that sometimes. OD, Ode, LON, SHITOX, Ode, and then Lone, Chitox, Lonch, Git Oaks, DS, Dus, JUMB, Yevmud, Jumbud, LUSDN, Lovston, and with the extra letter that would be Yev Mubad with the previous EMOD, Emode, DSOM, Desom, OD, Ode, TLIOB, Tleob, DRILPA, 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 GEH, Ja or Gi, YLS, Yils, Ils, MADZILODARP, Madzilodarp, Madzyilodarp. That is the 12th key. And there's not the Zakar Ka'od Zemran Odakikli Ka'a Zorgilap 0 Nokamad Hawath Yeda. Isn't the 12th? And with that last one, the 12th one, Zakar Gohas Od Zemran Odokikle Ka'a Zorgilap 0 Nokamad Hawath Yeda. You know, there's not that. But otherwise, 11 through 18, we're having Zakara Ka'od Zemran Odo Kikle Ka'a Zorgilap 0 Nokamad Hawath Ada. To compromise the ending of key 11 through 18, and only 11 being listed as having the E at the end. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, just plain Zakar, Adzamran, Ada, Kekle, Ka'a, Zarga, Lap, Zerdo, Nakamad, Ha'ath, Ea, Eda, or whatever variation of that you're going to say. But 13, you know, being taught by Nathalgi, of course. Indistinct, on the left column. By indistinct, I mean, the manuscript's corrupted, maybe over there. They've been more clear with that, but else or ils and indistinguishable on the left column. De Alpert, Dialpirt, indistinguishable on the left column. Zakar, indistinguishable on the left column. Gothus, indistinguishable on the left column. Zamran, indistinguishable on the left column. Odo, indistinguishable, ICLE. Kikli, QAA, Ka'a. That is a call. That is the 8th. Okay, they're going to say more at the... Wait. Oh, this is the 8th. Okay. Then they're going to continue. Gofa, Simran, Odo, Kikli, Ka. Okay. That's the 12th. They were continuing. Confused there for a second. NAPEAI, not PA, and D is the one who said this is the 8th, and I guess that is the 12th probably too, but that could be a voice, because the voice saying that's the 13th. And the second word, BABA GEN, Babagin, Babajan, Babagin, DSBRIN, Desprin, Desperian, OOAONA, Aona, and in between the X, Ooks, Fux, in between Disprin and Aona, LRING, Lurjung, VONPH, Vunp, SOBAIAD, Sobayad, V IVONPOVNPH, Ivonpo Vunpa. So Yiv On Pov Napa. AL something ON, Aldon, DAXIL, Daxiel, OD, Ode, TOATAR, Toatar. Edward Kelly said, now the curtain is plucked too, and a voice said, this is the 13th. Edward Kelly said, now it is open again. He is now as if he had a pall, a robe of gold, with a strange cap of gold on his head, indistinguishable. We're starting the 14th call here. Else or Yils, indistinguishable. Meka Olzode, probably Yaka Olz, Yaka Olzode, something L, something IRT, Olpert, Olpjert, IALPRG, Alperg, Yal Pavrug, Bliors, B Leors, Bull Yours, DS Des Odio Odo, Busdir, Bastir, Buv Sadir, OIAD, Oad, Oyad, OVOARS, Ovoars, CAOSGO, Kaosgo, CASARMG, Kasarmug, LA something, Laad, Layad, ERAN, Iran, something INTS, Brints, Brilliants, CAFAFAM, Kafafam, DS Des, IVMD, Eamd, Yvmud, AQLO, Aklo, Aklo, ADOHI, Adohe, Adohya, QZMOZ. It just says Mose here. Gizmos, OD, Ode, MAOFFAS, Maofas, BOLP, Bulp, COMOBIORT, Comobliort, Comobiliort, PAMBT, Pumbit. The curtain is now plucked. A voice said, "This is all." Edward Kelly says, "Now he is here apparelled as he was wont to appear." The promise of God confirmed anew, 14 to be received the Monday next. And Navalgi said thus, "Hath the Lord kept promise with you, and will not forget the least part of his whole promise with you. Keep you therefore promise with the Lord, for he is jealous and not to be defiled. Proceed as you now do. The next Monday you shall have as many." D said, "Will it please you to deliver the English of these 14 now, as you were wont to do?" Navalgi said, "The English will have a day by itself." Navalgi said, "The third Monday to come, you shall have them all, so that you have but 3 days to labor." D said, "You speak of the next Monday and the third, and speak nothing of the second Monday." And he said that the English will have a day by itself, and you say that we have but 3 days to labor, and so on. Navalgi said, "What I have said is so. Go also and refresh yourselves." Edward Kelly said that the curtain is drawn, and a voice says, "Stay there." A voice says, "Give God thanks and make an end." I don't know if it's the same voice, but Edward Kelly said they prayed the 145th and the 146th Psalm, kneeling reverently, and I likewise in heart consenting thereto, attentively listening. Note, Edward Kelly is very well, it doesn't say they prayed the 100, so was it D and Kelly that were praying that? Or note, Edward Kelly is very well persuaded of these actions now. Thanked be the highest who is almighty. And D said out loud, "Laudate Dominum de Calis." laudate cum in excelsis, laudate cum omnes angeli, et jus laudate cum omnes virtutes, et jus quea epse dixit eo facta sunt nobis, non fecit teliter omne atione sala Deo nostro laus omnes victoria triumphus eo jubilatio. Amen. Monday in Cracovia, Mae 21st, 1564. I'm sure they mean 84. Printing error, I guess. Main hora 5. Actio tertia lunaris. And in the margin we have, God is not tied to time, performance meaneth dwelleth with him. Se our mansions, faithful say ought. Something missing with faithful, something say, something. Is it are? Looks like ought. But D said, at length appeared one, but none of them. He is jolly and green, with a long, like green velvet robe, his hair long, like yellow gold, nothing on his head but his hair. He standeth as though he stood in a cloud above the usual pavement in the air, and sang, Lo, the sun shineth, and men fear no rain, the clouds are dispersed, and they look not for a tempest. But when it raineth mightily, or the heavens frown, then keep they their houses, saying one to another, What unreasonable tempest is this? What hailstones are these? Good Lord, who ever saw such winds? Were there ever such winds? So shall it be of the power of God, which holdeth in his hands the winds, and scattereth clouds abroad with his feet. For of his coming shall it be said amongst you, My spirit hath vexed me, and I am troubled. Why hast thou brought in things greater than thyself? Or where shall this power dwell that overshadoweth me? Wanting you shall desire as you do, and being filled, you shall think you have too much. Flesh can never be thoroughly mortified, but with death. Think not that the Lord is as the sun, that keepeth his continual watch through the heavens, which because he is made for a time is also tied to time. He that sitteth and judgeth keepeth no course, but a continual performance of his long before providence. For he that useth him otherwise should be rejected, because his dwellings are not in the manifestation, are not in the mansions of the faithful. Lift up your ears, therefore, for thus saith the highest, Who made the heavens, or spread them like a garment? Who breathed into man the spirit of understanding? Who overthrew the proud world with waters? Who smiled at the ruin of Pharaoh? Who rooted the wicked out of their seats, and made them become vineyards for my people? Yea, the stiff-necked generation, who threw down the towers of Babylon, and the great harlot, who dwelt upon the earth and became flesh, to pay for your wickedness, who tumbled the stone from the well, that the sheep might drink. Even he it is that gave all these their times. He it is that is able to make you understand, as also that call into the waters and said, Let us draw up our fish, which always dealeth with the weakest, to the intent that he might prove himself the strongest. Edward Kelly said that he speaketh a great deal of speech as to himself, which I perceive not. And the margin of this, Veste nuptiale opus est. Even he is that will make you strong and wise. If he find you with garments, he it is, that faith unto you. Waver not, be steadfast, for the faithful are never unrewarded. Edward Kelly said, he putteth his right hand out to the stone, being grasped together. Now he openeth his hand, and it is written in it. It is written in, and it is so far from me that I cannot read it. Yet he seemeth to be nearer to me, very much more than his hand. The writing seemeth to be like the leaf of a book. Thus it was written. And then the voice continues again. Have. Oh, and poison is in the margin, and L. Have an eye to my foretelling. Troubles, sudden sorrow is at hand. And all the earth know his ship is almost built. Lasky, if he serve me, shall be king of Poland. If he serve another, his bowels shall fall out before him with poison. Edward Kelly said, now he clasped his hand together and stayed the reading. And Dee said, whom is Lasky to serve, O Lord, but thee, to keep thy laws, statutes, and commandments, not to depend upon any creature? The king and chancellor have sold the people of this land, and are sworn Turks. Return not home to Lasky, for if thou do, thou shalt offend me. Go to the emperor, for I will comfort thee with his favor. Let him not return thence till he be warned by me. And margin, Turks, not to Lasco, Albert Lasky, ad imperatorem Undum est, and returned by warning. And D said, you mean from the emperor's court? I beseech you, by what token shall he receive your warning? And the voice said, be thou his right hand to his body, and his mouth to me. I will be merciful unto him, and hold up his head. Leave off till the 7th hour of the day, then cometh the action. He said, mean you the 7th hour, as from midnight last, that beginneth at noon, if you make but 12 hours in a day, or at 11, if you reckon common hours? The 7th hour from the horizon. Run that run can. Edward Kelly said, he runneth himself away. And he said, all glory and praise be to God. Amen. So the 7th hour, what would that be? The mid-afternoon. Edem di luna hora inquente emeridi hora planetaria. And Edward Kelly said, after a quarter of an hour, almost, appeared our instructors, as of a time. Dicen, Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sancto, ficat erat in principio eo nunc eo in sempiterna secula seculorum. Amen. The entity that called himself Gabriel. I mean, there's a lot of people called Gabriel and all sorts of things. I saw recently this guy in this video. It's like, I thought maybe he was talking about angels, but no, he's like talking about his buddies. There was a Michael and a Gabriel and stuff like this. But anyways, move not, for the place is holy. Be patient a little while. Edward Kelly said, Navalgi prayeth all the while. Edward Kelly said, Gabriel riseth out of his chair again, and warneth as before, thrice, that we should not move, for the place is holy. Navalgi made a cross toward the 4 quarters of the world with his rod, as he was wont. Navalgi said, there are 30 calls yet to come. Those 30 are the calls of something princes and 91 princesses? Spiritual governors. Okay, 91 princesses in the margin. Officer something. Okay. Princes and spiritual governors, unto whom the earth is delivered as a portion. These bring in, and again, disp kings and all the governments upon the earth, and vary the natures of things with the variation of every moment, unto whom the providence of the eternal judgment is already open. These are generally governed by the 12 angels of the 12 tribes, which are also governed by the 7 which stand before the presence of God. Let him that can see look up, and let him that can hear attend, for this is wisdom. They are all spirits of the air, not rejected, but dignified, and they dwell and have their habitation in the air diversely and in sundry places, for their mansions are not alike, neither are their powers equal. Understand therefore that from the fire to the earth there are 30 places or abidings, one above and beneath another, wherein these aforesaid creatures have their abode for a time. So kind of like an onion layer of heavens, authors, as they'll be called, princes. In the margins we have princes, 12 Og, the 7 angels, 91 good angels of the air, are spirits dignified from the element of the fire to the earth. Note for a time. And note how it says 91, but as we well know, there's a variation with, what is it, 65? But could that be 2 names for the same? So 14 squares. Pa tata terra distributa sub 12 principibus angelis 12 typium Israel quorum 12 aleque plures aleque Palciores partes habent sub soa regimen ex 91 partibus in quas tata terra hic demonstrator esse divisa apocalypse Johannes testimonium de 12 angeles 12 tripium cap whatever the word for chapter is, 21 quando dividibat altissimus gentis quando separabat filea Adam constituit terminus populorum juxta numerum filiarum Israel hoc egetur hinc egregi patere. They bear no name. Edward Kelly said, what is without a name? And we have the in the margin name, something or, something th, something was some letter E. And the voice said, Navalgi probably, their orderly place, but what? Something they have in respect of their being, understand them therefore by the first, second, third, and so 30th heir, something, are so to be nominated, O thou, the 20th heir, O thou, 16th heir, and so on, sometime, something, sometime, altogether, 2 or 3 of the something else governed by times which are the kings unto these, something ending with the letter E, to be spoken of, and bear the rule together, and at one time in the divisions, in the first heir, the 9th, 11th, and 7th angel of the tribes, bear rule and govern unto the 9th, 7,209 ministering angels are subject unto the 11th, 2,360, unto the 7th, 5,362. Navagi said something, count the number, and something. D said the whole sum of this government amounted to 14,931. Navagi said it is right. 2. The second is divided into 3 parts. The angel of the 4th tribe hath the first, the angel of the second, the angel of the second, the third, the fourth hath these many, 3,636. The first, second of the second, 2,000 something 0 something 62. The last of the second, something 00 962. Add these together, they are 6,660. The third, D said they are 6,660. 3, the third, the first, the 9th, the second, the 7th, the 3rd, the 10th, the 9th, 4,400. The 7th or the 2nd, 3,660. The 10th or the 3rd, 9,236. Navagi said number them. D said they are in all 17,296. 4. Navagi said the 4th hath also his 3 parts. The angel of the 10th tribe hath the first. The 10th hath also the second. The 12th hath the third. Edward Kelly said that he prayeth. The first 10th, 2,360. The second 10th, 3,000. 12th are the third, 6,300. Number the 4th also, so on and so on. They are 11,660. Something is also threefold probably. The first of the tribes hath the first, nth hath the second, the 11th hath the third, the first hath under him 8,630, the 7th or second 2,306, the 11th